great meal. Thank you very much. Good afternoon again. On behalf of the Salisbury Area Chamber of Commerce and our Board of Directors, welcome to Lunch with the Governor. And again, thank you to WBOC, Delmarva's news leader, and Craig Help and his team for their sponsorship of today's luncheon. We're so honored to share some time today with you, Governor. The city of Salisbury continues its amazing revitalization and its emergence as a growing job market in our state. Thank you, Governor, and your administration for your support in that regard, and we hope it continues. Wycomico County is also an emerging economic engine for Maryland. The prospect of new enterprises calling the county home as they support wind energy initiatives is exciting. Our airport continues to need state support in order to meet what is expected to be a growing demand, especially from our business community. Our agricultural economy is doing well and growing, and our public education system strives and deserves to be among the upper echelon in Maryland. The business community in our region is fully aware that the #1 economic engine in any jurisdiction is a top-ranked, high-performing public school system that puts students first. These are all areas we applaud and support you, Governor, and urge your continued support. Our region is certainly poised to be the next gold rush for the state of Maryland. Governor Hogan has made great stride in creating new jobs and making Maryland a better place to live, work, and raise a family. Those have been his top priorities. Since he took office, Maryland's economy has seen one of the largest improvements in any state in the United States, and an unemployment rate that is now at an 8-year low. Governor Hogan has also made record investments in both education and transportation, and has enacted several major environmental and criminal justice reforms. And as a side note, Governor Hogan has the highest approval rating of any Maryland governor since the 90s. So please welcome.
Thank you for making up all those nice things about me. Sounded nice. Thank you all very much for joining us this afternoon. I think we got a full house. Looks like the Salisbury Area Chamber of Commerce is doing well. I want to thank WBOC for hosting me. I was being grilled by a whole table full of WBOC folks while I tried to get a bite to eat, but appreciate the hospitality. I told them they didn't have to go to all this trouble. They could have just sent one reporter out to market. They had me surrounded, but it's always great to be back on the shore, particularly here on the lower shore and back in Salisbury. I've been here many times, and this is not the last you're going to see of me. We're going to keep coming back. It's just wonderful to be back on the shore. We got a lot going on here. But when I was sworn in as governor, and in fact when I was running for governor, I said the areas that were ignored and neglected, like the Eastern Shore, were no longer going to be forgotten, and that we were going to pay more attention. We're going to listen to your needs and try to provide more help. And we've been doing exactly what we said we were going to do. When I was sworn in that day, I said the war on rural Maryland is over, that there no longer would be a disconnect between the shore and Annapolis. And we meant exactly what we said. And we've made countless trips, very productive trips here to every single county on the shore. A little later today, I'll be touring Maytech Manufacturing here in Salisbury. I'll be speaking at the Maryland Municipal League convention in Ocean City. Tomorrow I'm cutting the ribbon on a new bayside boat ramp in Ocean City, and I'll be participating in the ribbon cutting of a new Fairfield Inn Suites in Ocean City. I'm going to Denton to celebrate a grand opening in Caroline County of their new visitor center, which they couldn't get done for 12 years, and we got it done. Yeah. For 2 years, our entire team in state government has been focused like a laser beam on helping grow our private sector, helping to create more jobs, and to turn our economy around. And as a result, our economy is stronger than it's been in more than a decade. Businesses are returning to and expanding in our state. We had our best year for business in 15 years. We had our best year for job growth in 15 years, and we cut our unemployment rate, which at one point during the past administration was 8.6. We cut our unemployment rate to 4.2%. We went from losing 100,000 jobs to gaining 100,000 jobs in just 2 years, and our overall economic performance in Maryland went from 49th out of 50 states to number 10 in the United States of America. That's up 30. About 2.5 years ago, not quite, I stood on the steps of our historic State House in Annapolis, and I promised to put Maryland on a new path. I promised to try to create a more competitive and more business-friendly future for Maryland, to grow our private sector and get the government off our backs and out of our pockets. And as I said, we've been doing exactly what we said we would do. As I was taking the oath of office that snowy day in Annapolis, as I had my hand raised, taking the oath at that very moment, 12:01, when I was officially the governor, we changed all the highway signs across Maryland at that time to say, "Welcome to Maryland, we're open for business." And that's quite a change in direction, because I think they used to say, "What's in your wallet?" Not sure if that was the slogan. But, you know, it's not just a slogan. It's not just something we put on the signs. It's what we're focused on and committed to. It's the reason I ran for governor. 5 minutes after I was sworn in, I went up to the governor's office for the very first time. And I killed over 100 job-killing regulations that the previous governor tried to push through in the closing hours of his administration. We've cut another 200 since then, and we're not done yet. We're going to try to... Then we had one heck of an inaugural ball, and I got to hang out and have a few drinks with 10,000 of my closest friends. Next morning, we got up early, and I submitted the very first balanced budget in a decade in our state, which eliminated nearly all of the $5.1 billion structural deficit that I inherited. We're off to a good start. And we did it without raising taxes. In fact, we've now completed 3 budgets in a row in Maryland with no new taxes. And believe it or not, we've actually cut taxes 3 years in a row, something previously unheard of and unthinkable here in the state of Maryland, right? It's quite a difference. We've cut taxes by $700 million, and we're not done yet. We're still working on the legislature to get some more. We've reduced or eliminated 255 fees all across state government for another $120 million, and something some of you on the shore may have heard something about, I'm not sure, but we cut tolls at every single facility in the state of Maryland. We cut tolls by $270 million. First time that tolls have been reduced in more than 50 years in our state. And we put all of this money back into the pockets of hardworking Marylanders and struggling small businesses, and back into our rapidly growing economy. We're investing in projects that support the revitalization of our historic downtown communities, including $1 million right here for the Salisbury revitalization project. In total, we have invested more than $215 million towards Lower Shore projects, including construction funding for West Salisbury Elementary School, Parkside High School, and East Salisbury Elementary School. More than $36 billion worth of improvements to the Salisbury wastewater treatment plant, and more than $1.5 million in improvements to Purdue Stadium. When I ran for governor, I also promised that I was going to rebuild our state's transportation infrastructure. After 8 years of neglect and mismanagement, and after $1 billion was improperly siphoned from the Transportation Trust Fund, Maryland had crumbling roads and bridges and the worst traffic congestion in the nation. And again, we took action immediately, doing what we said we were going to do. We're now moving forward on nearly all of the top priority road projects in every single jurisdiction all across the state. We inherited 69 structurally deficient bridges, and we're fixing every single one of them. We recently added an additional $2 billion in new transportation projects. We have $8.6 billion in our consolidated transportation plan, including nearly $370 million for lower shore transportation investments. This includes funding to finish the rehabilitation of the US 13 bridges coming into Pocomoke City, $2.5 million to replace the bridge over Maryland 349 over Windsor Creek, $28 million to redeck 11 bridges along the Salisbury bypass, $110 million to upgrade Worcester Highway to a 4-lane divided highway, and nearly 1,000 transportation projects are currently under construction all across the state from one end of the state to the other. It's unprecedented and historic, and all of these efforts that we've been making are helping us to experience tremendous growth in our state economy. The statistics are so good, it's going to sound like we're making them up. It sounds like they're too good to be true, like it's make-believe. The facts are abundantly clear and indisputable. Maryland was recently ranked as the most innovative state in America, #1. We're 3rd in the nation for research and development intensity, 2nd among all 50 states in concentration of STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, employment, 2nd in the nation for the number of the highest share of technology companies. We have the 2nd highest share among all 50 states of science and engineering graduates over the age of 25. We're proud that Maryland has the 2nd lowest percentage of people living below the poverty rate in the nation, and that we have the highest median household income in the United States of America. Together with your help, we have we've created an exciting economic resurgence here. And here in Wicomico County, our Commerce Department has assisted directly with 16 projects, investing $16 million and creating over 400 new jobs. Maryland truly is open for business. U.S. News and World Report just did a recent ranking of the best states in America, and they compiled data in 68 different categories. I'm proud to report that Maryland beat out 42 other states. We're now ranked the 8th best state in the United States of America. So together with all of you, because the business community is really the one creating jobs and making all this progress possible, but together we've been able to bring about real change to a state that desperately needed it. 3/4 of the people in Maryland approve of the job that we've been doing, but we're just getting started, and a lot more hard work still lies ahead so that we can continue to make this progress for our state. We recently enacted into law our More Jobs for Marylanders Act, which is going to provide tax incentives for the creation of thousands more jobs in areas where we need them the most, including right here on the lower shore. We're going to do everything we can to entice businesses to come here, locate here, and to create more jobs in your area. We're doing everything we can to make Maryland more competitive with other states and to foster a more business-friendly jobs climate in Maryland. As you probably know, I recently vetoed the legislature's ill-conceived, poorly written, and inflexible paid sick leave bill, which if allowed to go into law, could cost Maryland thousands of jobs and billions in economic output, with small businesses bearing much of the brunt of that burden. Stopping reckless, job-killing proposals and protecting taxpayers and protecting jobs is why I'm in this job. It's why I ran for governor. And I believe it would have been incredibly irresponsible for us to allow another law in the books that would unfairly penalize our state's job creators, where 80% of our jobs come from, and the men and women that they employ. Every single decision I make as governor is put to a simple test. I just say, will this action or this law make it easier for Maryland families and businesses to stay in Maryland? And if the answer is no, like this bill clearly does not pass that test, then it's not going to happen under my watch. So vetoing it sounds like you believe in this room was the right course of action. I think it was for our economy and our business community and for our Maryland workers, but we're going to need everybody in this room to assist us in the fight because there are folks in the legislature who don't really care much about small business and are going to continue to push this. We've got to need your help to try to stop them from overriding this common sense veto next January. Frankly, we can't continue to make this kind of progress without your help, without the people in this room talking to your legislators and letting them know how important these things are. I want to thank the Salisbury Chamber of Commerce for being such an important part of Maryland's amazing economic resurgence. And I believe that together we've made a great deal of progress over the past 2 years, and we're not done yet. We're just getting started. We got a lot more to do. I'd like to leave you with just maybe one final thought this afternoon. A couple people mentioned it on the way in, but my 18-month personal battle with cancer taught me kind of some of the important things in life. It has a way of making you refocus. And one thing that stands out for me is that life is much too short, and that we need to make the most of it. All of us do. And I think every single day, every single one of us is given the opportunity to do something great. And I think that every single one of us has the opportunity to do something great. And over the past 2.5 years, we've accomplished a lot of great things together. And I just want to promise each and every one of you in this room that I'm going to continue to work as hard as I possibly can at this job. I'm going to keep giving it everything I've got, every single moment that I'm given. And together with you, I know that we're going to continue to change Maryland for the better. So thank you all. God bless you, and God bless the great state of Maryland.